Breaking headline: the White House blindsided tonight as the Department of Justice reveals that they will appoint a special counsel to now oversee the FBI investigation into Russian meddling and any possible collusion. Former FBI Director Robert Mueller will now lead the investigation. Democrats and some Republicans had been calling for this move. The news coming just 24 hours after we learned that former FBI Director James Comey, who was fired by President Trump, kept notes about his meetings with the president. The Department of Justice saying just moments ago a special counsel is necessary for the American people to have full confidence in the outcome. ABC senior justice correspondent Pierre Thomas leading us off.
Tonight, a bombshell announcement. The Department of Justice appointing a special counsel to take over the investigation into Russia's interference with the 2016 election, including possible collusion with the Trump campaign. The man now leading the investigation, former FBI Director Robert Mueller. He'll have all the authorities of a U.S. attorney, including the ability to take the matter before a grand jury and the ability to issue subpoenas. The announcement of a special counsel comes after Attorney General Jeff Sessions recused himself.
Therefore, I have recused myself in the matters that deal with the Trump campaign.
President Trump has called the investigation into possible collusion with members of his campaign a charade. Former FBI Director James Comey was in charge of that investigation until he was fired last week. Tonight's dramatic announcement coming after that other bombshell 24 hours ago. The memo coming to light about President Trump's meeting in the Oval Office in February, raising concerns Mr. Trump allegedly wanted the FBI to go easy on former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn. It was the president who warned the FBI director after firing him that, quote, James Comey better hope there are no tapes of our conversation before he starts leaking to the press. The White House has refused to say whether those tapes exist. But what we do know, according to sources, is that memos do exist. James Comey had a documented history of keeping notes, especially when it came to controversial matters. Tonight, after it was revealed he wrote a memo saying that President Trump pressured him to drop the Flynn investigation, now we learn there could be more memos, more documentation of his interaction with the president. Just as he documented his meeting in the Oval Office in February, one day after General Flynn resigned. President Trump allegedly asking Vice President Pence and Attorney General Jeff Sessions to exit the room after a briefing, leaving the president alone with the FBI director. According to the now infamous memo described to ABC News by a source close to Comey who has read it, Trump allegedly then said, I hope you can see your way to letting this go, to letting Flynn go. He's a good guy. The White House tonight denying President Trump pressured Comey to stop the investigation.
The president's been very clear that the account that was published is not an accurate description of how the event occurred.
But sources close to Comey expect that Comey will testify before Congress and the American people, and that his memos will be made available.
So let's get to Pierre Thomas live in our Washington bureau. And Pierre, back to this notion of a special counsel now. The FBI Director James Comey, who was fired just last week, of course, he had been leading this investigation. So this now means that former FBI Director James Mueller steps in. And for people watching at home tonight, this question: what does it mean? Does he begin examining what's been gathered so far, or does he start from scratch here?
David, it's totally at the discretion of Mueller. He can replace all the agents currently working the case if he chooses, and he has 60 days to put together a team of lawyers to work with him on the case. And David, just a reminder about Mueller. After serving 10 years as FBI director, he was asked by President Obama to re-up for an additional 2 years. He was reconfirmed 100-0.
Pierre Thomas leading us off. Pierre, thank you. I want to get right to ABC's chief White House correspondent, Jonathan Karl, tonight, because, John, you were telling me the White House was blindsided. What have you learned tonight?
They were completely taken off guard by this, David. As a matter of fact, I am told that the senior staff here at the White House did not get word of this until about 30 minutes before the news was shared with the news media. Completely taken off guard, but it really shouldn't have taken them all that much by surprise given the developments of the last few days. And I am starting to hear, even from some Republicans on Capitol Hill, welcoming this news, including Jason Chaffetz, the top Republican on the Oversight Committee in the House. He said Mueller is a great selection, impeccable credentials, should be widely accepted. We just don't know if that is a view that is shared here at the White House yet.
All right, 30 minutes warning, as you point out, John. Thanks to you.